I've got to go and check the air before we start here.
What?
Go and check the bar before we start.
No, you've just done it on the camera. Where are you going?
I thought so.
You've been quite good on Twitter.
Have I?
I would if I was to summarise in an emoji, I'd do a little fire one.
You don't like drinking Grover?
Never had it before.
You never had a bottle?
No.
You're losing points for being on the podcast every second.
Good.
Thanks for that input.
Before we get into the Villa, I had a bit of a...
It would be silly to start with Villa Review podcast. Hello, welcome to the Villa Review podcast with myself, Dan Bardell, and myself, Tom Julian, then myself, Dan Bardell, and Thomas Julian on my right. We're a bit funny, aren't we? Because we've just done a live on Instagram before the podcast, so I feel like we may have used our best material up early doors.
Yeah, you get that buzz, don't you, when you get in the podcast booth, and
it's how the players feel in the tunnel, like they're going into the live environment. They know that it's do or die. That's how I felt doing a live.
And now we're just a bit deflated.
Yeah. Well, not deflated.
Enjoy the podcast.
Yeah. Also, talking of material, Tom's shirt broke. Just before we were about to start, didn't it?
It was an absolute disaster, if I'm being honest with you. I was literally tucking it in, and the back bit ripped right off. It's DKNY this top.
Again, he keeps saying DKNY, like that's really impressive. Let us know in the comments, but I don't think that's that impressive.
It's not impressive. It's a quality shirt manufacturer.
It's obviously not a quality shirt because it's ripped when you try to tuck it in.
You're telling me?
Yeah.
Furious.
I'm wearing a Milwaukee Bucks jacket in tribute to our owner, Wes Edens, and then a Mickey Mouse t-shirt in tribute to
Because you are Mickey Mouse.
Oh, you ruined my joke. I've been lining that joke up all night. Mickey Mouse in tribute to our rivals at Birmingham City.
Oh, you're furious, aren't you?
Yeah, no need for that, Tom. No need for that.
Do you want to start again?
No, don't ruin other people's jokes just because you never make jokes.
Listen, I'm the funny one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Anyway, we didn't lose at the weekend.
No, it's always good. It feels like the first time for a while when we've come in and said that. We didn't lose.
Yeah.
Reading 0-0, maybe the last time, I can't remember.
And I don't think I was there.
This season now, it's starting to be one of those seasons that I'm just like forgetting what happened because it doesn't feel like there's anything really to play for. A bit like the first season in the Championship.
Yeah, we've had a few questions about whether we should be forgetting the rest of this season or not. It's the playoffs are so unattainable, aren't they? Like,
pretty much, yeah.
You'd have to go on. I've seen some people say you need to win 10 of the last 12 games, and even then, you've got a bunch of teams who are in better form above us generally.
You know what we'll do though? We'll go and win like 5 in a row or something, and we'll all just start to think, "Oh, yeah, could we?" And then we'll lose the next 3.
Yeah, well,
that would be peak Villa.
We shall see. I mean, at least. Does that make it interesting? Does that make it an exciting rest of the season? What for you is important for the last part of this season?
Someone's asked that, haven't they?
Yeah.
In the questions, actually. I just want us to end the season well so that we can go into next season with a little bit of positivity. I think we spoke about it either last week or the week before. West Brom ended their last season in the Premier League well, and they've taken that in to this season. I just want us to do a similar kind of thing, end positively, have a bit of a rebuild in the summer, and the fans will get. If it is a new team next season, I think the fans will get behind it. If it's a young and hungry team, but I feel like Lambert tried to do that a little bit, and everyone was behind it early doors. But then the whole impatience thing with Villa fans, it just naturally happens.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because if it doesn't catch by end of October, then.
Sometimes not even then.
Then you're under pressure as a manager. Well, let's talk about the Stoke game. Stoke won, Villa won. First of all, overarching thoughts. What did you make of the game?
I mean, I've only seen the extended highlights, so I've not obviously been there, but I've heard good things from a lot of people that were there, that can remember the game. I'm looking at you, Aston Radford, because I came to you for an opinion. You didn't really give me one. It looked positive from what I could tell. It sounded like the atmosphere was good as well, that the fans stuck with the players, which is always a good thing. Apparently they got sang off at half-time and giving the old come on as they were walking off the pitch at half-time 1-0 down, which if you'd have told me that would have happened after the week before's atmosphere at Villa Park, I wouldn't have believed you, but that says a lot about the travelling element of the Villa fans and what they're there to do. And to be honest, I looked at the first half highlights and thought, I don't think that didn't look too bad.
Yeah.
To me, we've created some chances there. We've looked like we were probably the better team. We've conceded when we're down to 10 because of an early injury to Alan Hutton. Get well soon, Alan. Definitely be watching, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then the second half, we picked up where we left off really, but had more of a go at it. Got attacking our own fans, which seems to have given us a boost, and the fans have been given something to get behind, and we've equalised, and we're unlucky not to go on and win it.
Yeah, it couldn't have started much worse, could it? With Sam Vokes kind of flicking in flicking in the cross there, and Jed Steer's beaten at close range, and you and I talked about this in the car. At first glance, At first glance, it looks like, does Jed Steer, should he have done better? But I think the ball comes at him so quickly, and he can't be expecting it in that manner. I don't know. It's a weird one, because part of me is like, well, he's a goalkeeper who should be expecting it at all times. But then it's such an audacious goal, isn't it?
I mean, I was saying in the car that at first look, I thought he should have done better there, because it's kind of squirmed in, really, hasn't it? But upon further reflection and picking your football brain, you like you say, it's very close.
Yeah.
It's very close. I think maybe he's almost done too well with it, if that makes sense. Like he's got a big hand on it that's made him look worse, even though he's actually done well to get something on it at all, because it was from very close in, like you say. So maybe he's own worst enemy there.
There's also a defender in the way, and there's a bit of a melee there. To try and make out what's going on is difficult.
Yeah. Also, you'd think if it was a mistake, I'd have seen all over social media that Jed Steer was useless, and I didn't see that. So it can't have been a mistake.
Right, okay. Sam Vokes' first goal of the season as well.
I mean,
annoying.
yeah, that's again, we're going to talk many times about things that are vintage Villa or peak Villa. That is peak Villa. If you haven't scored for your new team, you want to be playing the Villa boys, because you know 9 times out of 10 you'll get the chance to do it.
Yeah. Well, Stoke were in similar form to us as well, weren't they? Hadn't won in 4, I think, and Villa hadn't won in 5. And so somebody was saying that they were like second or third worst in the form rating.
I mean,
so
where were we?
Yeah, we can't be much more above them. So it was all up for grabs. And yet nobody kind of came out on top. Villa, though, could take a lot of positives. Like you say, the fans were in good spirits, and the players seemed to react to that. Hopefully we can take that through to Derby.
I mean, I'll take a positive from the fact that West Brom we went behind. I didn't ever think we were going to get back into the game at any point. Once we were 2-0 down and into the second half, I just didn't think it was going to happen. Whereas they've showed a bit of character and resilience to get back to 1-1. And like I say, it's unlucky not to go and win that in the end with the chances they've created. Tammy's obviously had a header, Mings has had a header, Butland looks like he's had a good day. Yeah. Paying tribute to Gordon Banks in that shirt, which I thought was a nice touch, by the way. And it's we've not won that game through a want of creating chances, whereas in other games it kind of just hasn't happened. We've not done anything, and that's why we've not won. We've gone there and we've had a go. We've not got a good recent record at Stoke either. Yeah, well, El Ghazi had a golden chance to kind of level the game up in the first half. Tammy Abraham picks the ball up in the middle of Stoke's half and lays it through. Defender slips, and El Ghazi seemingly has a lot more time and just hits the panic button, blazes it over the bar, doesn't even test Butland. Thought he should have done a lot better than that. Yeah, I've decided over the last 24 hours that El Ghazi looks like a confidence player to me, like a real confidence player, and it hasn't been going well for him. So that West Brom time, when we keep talking about it, the West Brom game, the Middlesbrough away game, West Brom away game, he was just flying, wasn't he? He was playing without thinking about it. Yeah. He was just playing off the cuff, and he was running the show. To be fair, and hopefully now, because obviously he's gone on and done something very good in the second half, just get his confidence up a bit, because I think when you're in and out of the team as well as a winger, it's difficult. You need I always think on the wing you need a rhythm, you need a run of games. And in this bad run, the thing that Dean Smith has done is he's changed the wingers up. He's not changed much else, but he's kept changing the wingers and trying to play someone into form, and it just hasn't happened. I think you need 4 or 5 games as a wide player to just get some rhythm and get some consistency in your game. You can tell me if this is harsh or not, but I'm kind of seeing elements of Gabi Agbonlahor with El Ghazi. He does some of the kind of knocking it past players, getting past players well, but I watched some of his passing on Saturday, and even like the basic passes, they just weren't that good. He overhits passes. Even the cross wasn't meant to go to Albert Doma. There's a pass in the bottom left hand corner where he almost passes it out for a throw-in kind of thing. I wonder if he lacks. No, because that's unfair. Because he doesn't lack the technical ability. You're right. Very technical. It's confidence, but I don't know. That's who I'm kind of seeing pairings with. Are you thinking that he struggles with the simple stuff? Yeah. Rather, obviously, he's a very technical player, but the simple stuff doesn't come easily to him. And there's times where, if he's not thinking about it, he can hit an absolute pearl of a shot. In that respect, I agree with you with the Gabi Agbonlahor thing, because I've always thought Gabi, if he's 1-on-1 with the keeper and he had time to think about it, he just wouldn't score, would he? Yeah. But if he's the Birmingham City game when he scored and he hasn't got time to think about it, that's actually a good finish. Yeah. In that game, he scored a lot of goals where if he didn't have to think about it, they were good finishes. But if you give him time to think, he'll fluff his lines. So I think in that respect, what you say, is fair, but generally I think they're different types of players.
Yeah.
Aren't they? Like, El Ghazi's a more technical footballer. Gabby is a speed merchant, was trained up to be a footballer and made a great career for himself, despite probably coming into the game quite late.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. We'll see how he gets on. But yeah, El Ghazi had that opportunity. A couple of other opportunities as well. Hurahan free kick aimed at Mings, but Butland does well to come and get it. Then Mings, El Ghazi has an effort that's tipped onto the bar as well. Mings has an effort later on as well. So, like you say, Butland has an absolute day in that green jersey. He should keep that on for the rest of the season because he played inspiredly.
Yeah, and I've watched when I've seen Stoke's highlights. I've not watched much of them live on the telly or anything. He's looked a bit shaky to me, Butland. I remember the first game of the season at Leeds. He made a howler. I mean, no one really cares about Jack Butland and his podcast, but I'm a bit worried for his career a little bit because where does he go?
It feels like
I think he's got to go abroad, Butland. There's nowhere for him to go in England that's going to get... I mean, he's still in the England squad at the moment, but he's a long way back to the Premier League for Butland, I think. He seems to be in a group of these England keepers that's just gone into the abyss. A bit like, Ruddy went early, but... I love John Ruddy just because he played for Cambridge. There was absolutely no need for John Ruddy to come into conversation there.
Fraser Forster goes into there.
Third choice at Southampton, Fraser Forster.
Yeah, exactly. But a couple of years ago, he was the belle of the ball, and it looked like he...
That well-known football term, the belle of the ball.
What's up with you at the moment? Just because I've ruined your Birmingham City joke.
No, it's because we did the live as well, so that was all about the banter, so I've carried it on, I've continued it into the podcast.
But anyway, there seems to be this group of England goalkeepers that seem to have a promising future as the England number one, and just hasn't happened. John Ruddy being the leader.
Joe Hart. Joe Hart as well, obviously struggling to get a game at Burnley. Burnley got 3 England goalkeepers there. So we were obviously heavily linked with Heaton, and then suddenly he got himself back in the Burnley team, is doing well, and will be in the next England squad. But we digress.
Yeah, there you go. What did you make?
If you're interested in us starting an England goalkeepers podcast, then please let us know.
Sure. In
the comments, and we'll look into it. Tom needs another podcast to do, so we're desperate for some new content.
If you're going to fund it, I'm all ears.
Okay. All about the money you are.
Yeah, that's it. I need to buy a new shirt.
Modern, yeah, that's true.
What about the 2 penalty appeals? Jonathan Codger first of all, and then from the resulting free kick after that Codger was waved away, Tammy Abraham goes down as well.
The trouble is I've not seen it from any good angle. I've literally just seen the telecam, FIFA term there, the telecam angle that's on Villa's YouTube. I didn't think the first Codger one was a penalty. I'm kind of looking for it gone down a bit easily. There's a bit of a clash, but it was half of one, 6 a dozen of the other. How do you say it?
6 of one,
half a dozen of the other. Yeah, so I don't think that was a penalty.
In Scotland, they say 6 and 2 threes.
Do they?
6 and 2 threes. Yeah.
I think I've heard commentators say it's 6 and 2/3 and things like that on football, trying to be clever. Yeah. You've thrown me there. I've forgotten what.
Codger penalty, Tammy Abraham penalty.
Yeah, I just didn't think either were penalty. I was surprised to learn Charlie Adam was still a footballer. Yeah. To be honest, after seeing the highlights as well, that surprised me.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe he was still knocking around.
He must be 38. Do you reckon?
Well, he won't be that old because Whelan's not even 38, is he? And Glenn Whelan will be older.
I'm going to find out. I didn't think either were a penalty. I thought both were kind of comings together. The Charlie Adam one was more likely to be a penalty than Tammy Abraham to me. I don't see where Tammy Abraham had a shout at all, really. There didn't seem to be anything to do there, so... Yeah.
No pens.
Your
official referee's opinion.
Good refereeing, in my opinion. So Albert Adoma, who comes on for the injured Alan Hutton, gets the goal. It's an El Ghazi cross, and Adoma is in the right place at the right time to score his first goal since March 2018. I think it was only last week we were talking about how Adoma's 15 goals last year had been so important, and how we'd missed them, and there he is, pops up with a smart finish.
Yeah, he'd gone pretty much a year without scoring, which isn't great for someone who scored 15 the year before. Again, wide players are so frequently confidence players. You just hope that now this will spur him on and he'll get him back in the groove, because I always look at him as quite a streaky player. Even last season he scored a lot of goals. I felt like they came in batches, so I'm hoping it'll just set him off on another streak again.
Yeah, you talk about that, but it felt like Adoma lost his confidence in February last year, didn't it? And we haven't seen it since.
He became a bit predictable towards the back end of last season. He didn't have a good game in the playoff final. That's the only game I can recall from last season. At the moment, the playoff finally just wasn't good, was it?
I've grossly overaged Charlie Adam.
Have you?
Yeah, 33.
Man, the same age as me. Same age as me.
Only just turned 33 as well.
It's all right. What do you think of Adoma? I'll throw it back to you. You've interrupted me mid-point.
Sorry. I agree with you. I want to see the Adoma of of November 2017, where nobody could control him. He was dancing. He was happy.
He was dancing.
The whole team seemed to be happy around Adoma.
If Albert's dancing, you know things are going well.
Yeah.
Maybe the dance will come back at the weekend. Maybe, like I say, he's a streaky player. Maybe he'll get some dancing going on a Saturday.
It's difficult because, like you say, we've been rotating the wide players, and the confidence hasn't been there, and we haven't found this set team, I guess, that we want to play, specifically with those wide players.
There's a bit of the debacle in the summer that people talk about as well, with the going back to Middlesbrough and then it didn't happen and stuff like that, although I'm not sure everything that's told about that is true from what I understand. So I think you can't really lay the blame at a potential move to Middlesbrough falling through, because he's had enough games to try and get back into form. He just, for whatever reason, he hasn't worked. He had missed that penalty at Burton as well, didn't he? And then skied the rebound as well, and we got knocked out out of the League Cup. So it's not been a great season for Albert, has he? He won't look back on it with much fondness, but like the rest of the Villa team, hopefully he can just end the season well and we go into next season confident.
Totally, it was a great finish.
It was a good finish, because again, no, we wouldn't have had much time to think about it because it's gone through Codger. Yeah. Stoke players lunged it and missed it, and he has to shape himself to it's a really good finish. To play it. So yeah, very, very happy to see Adoma on the score sheet. Generated a lot of power with the side of his foot.
Yeah. Tammy Abraham and Tyrone Mings both have headers denied by Butland. Again, two very, very good saves from the Stoke goalkeeper, and the game finishes 1-1. Were you surprised to see Jed Steer on the bench? In goal? Kalinic on the bench? I got lost.
Not really, because there's some kind of concussion laws, isn't there? But then, like you say, should he be on the bench? I don't know, maybe Kalinic just wasn't 100%. Steer finished the last game. Steer probably deserves a game, if I'm being honest. Maybe a chance to stake a claim to stay at Villa, because his contract's up at the end of the season. Steer's done nothing wrong. He's been quite dependable when he's been called upon for Villa throughout his time there. It just hasn't worked. Yeah, I mean, I said at the start of the season I felt it was harsh on Steer to be sent out. Yeah, that was poor. And Neelan to come in, and Steer, to be fair, has been the model professional. He's done his job wherever he's been, and he comes in and has a quiet but decent performance. Didn't have much to do against Stoke, to be honest. Last time he played against QPR in the 2-2 draw, I thought there was nothing he could do about either goal, but I thought he played well and acquitted himself well. He's a decent goalkeeper. I mean, he was very highly rated when we signed him, when Lambert bought him in from Norwich. I think he was out of contract, wasn't he? We got him in. He was highly rated goalkeeper, but he's just suffered with injuries and then suffered with people not giving him game time. He's gone out on, whenever he's gone out on loan, by all accounts, I think he's done well. So there's a decent keeper there, but I don't think he'll be with us next season. Matt Collins says, what's going on with Kalinic? Surely wouldn't be on the bench if he was concussed, which you alluded to there as well. Do you think that's just a case of us not having enough goalkeepers? So it's a bit of a mishmash. He's not quite fit enough to start. But we've got Mark Bunn there, who's the perennial substitute goalkeeper, if ever there's been one. I don't know, I just think maybe he wasn't 100%, but they still wanted him involved. I don't know, it's a difficult one. Could have been an opportunity for Sarkic to be on the bench as well, potentially. I don't know how he's getting on. I think he's jumped ahead of Bunn in the queue, from what I understand, Sarkic, which would make sense, because Bunn's out of contract in the summer, so if these youngsters are any good, they've got to be in and around it now. Now or never, isn't it? Yeah. Very much so. I've got the Dean Smith quotes here. He wasn't very happy with the first half. I think by all accounts he gave him a bit of a. I think we've used by all accounts about 6 times in this podcast. Well, you have. I don't think I have. You've definitely used it twice. It doesn't feel like a term I would use, but Matt, you love it. I wasn't happy at half time. I got into the players a little bit, but that was nothing to do with the shape, system or style of play, more down to our body language than when we gave balls away. Interesting that body language has been a kind of hot topic with fans who say that some players are just looking like they don't want to be there, and Smith addressed that in his post-match comments. But I bet the fans would say they all looked like they wanted to be there in the second half. On Saturday, it's the same players. Like, I don't buy them not wanting to be there thing, although Elfie came out with some interesting comments about we've all realised Villa being in the top 6 is beneficial to us all. Yeah. I thought that was strange. Yeah, a really weird thing. I mean, I was going to come on to that. Down in the notes? But, yeah. But quote it then, let's read it, because people might not know what we're talking about. I haven't got it down in the notes. So why, when I just said, have you got it in your notes, did you give me a look as if to say, oh yeah, boy, I've got that in the notes. You know because I meant to put it in the notes, and you've stitched me up there. What do you want to tell us again? I mean, I can't remember exactly what he said myself, but I'm not in charge of the notes. Listen, this something along the lines of, we realise Aston Villa being in the top 6 is beneficial for us all. It almost like they weren't all pulling in the same direction, but I just seems really weird to me.
Yeah, it does, because essentially it sounds like if we get into the top 6, we all put ourselves in the shop window, and we might get another deal somewhere else.
I mean, I don't think Elfie could be here next season. I'm not for 1 minute saying Elfie's one of the ones that's not putting it in, because I don't think that's true at all. He is the ultimate professional, but I wouldn't think he'd be here next season.
Yeah,
I think that is the case with a lot of them. I don't think it's a purposeful thing. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I don't think anyone goes out there to think, I'm not going to bother today, you know?
Yeah.
I don't fancy it. You might think, I ain't very confident of us doing well today, but I don't think anyone goes out there and thinks, I'm not going to bother trying today, you know?
No, we've talked about this before, and it just doesn't make sense. It's not being on a football pitch. You have to be up for it, and I think you have to be up for it. And I just don't think that will be the case where people go, I just don't fancy it today.
No, I can't see it. What do you make of the formation change?
Hang on, I'm just trying to find Elphic's comments now.
Forget that now, it's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone, Tom. You've let yourself down.
Yeah.
Apologise to people listening to the podcast.
I'm sorry, everybody. I tried to lie, and Dan wouldn't let me. At what point did you know that it wasn't in the notes?
When you didn't go straight to your notes and read the quote to me.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. The formation change, Codger seems happier in the centre.
And you can't play him on his own up front.
And I felt like Tammy Abraham dropped deeper and picked the ball up. So I don't know whether Tammy Abraham's going to be less effective, but Codger will be more effective, and whether that'll balance each other out.
I just think it's not going to be a long-term thing. It wouldn't surprise me straight away if we go back to 4-3-3 on Saturday if Jack's back. Because I think Jack will start. I think he'll be thrown straight in on Saturday.
Do you?
Yeah, I believe he will be. That's what I think.
Yeah,
I think he'll be straight back in. So he isn't going to play wide, I wouldn't think. And he isn't going to play in the middle in a flat 4-4-2. So, makes sense to me that we'll be back at 4-3-3.
Yeah.
Or I suppose Jack in for Codger or whatever and playing closer to Abraham.
Who do you have as your 3 midfield? Because obviously McGinn is still out, so you have...
Whelan, Connor and Grealish, I would think.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And I guess the reason that you don't play him is if you have any worries about him at all. But they are making a big push, Villa, on social media and various platforms to say... He's bad.
Yeah, if he doesn't play on Saturday, they've made themselves look very stupid.
He'll be on the bench.
He'll definitely be on the bench. I just think we'll start him because he's a naturally fit lad. He'll galvanise the crowd. He'll galvanise the players that he's playing with as well, because he's like Dean Smith. My personal opinion is he's the best player in the Championship. I think that. I genuinely believe that.
Well, he's got a lot to do as well himself, because it's an interesting time for Jack Grealish where his value will have dropped over the last 10 weeks where he's been out. There was obviously talk in the summer of a potential move to Tottenham. Whatever happened, it didn't happen. And now Villa's looking at financial fair play. They've got half an eye on balancing the books. Jack Grealish has half an eye on the England squad, and quite rightly so. Something needs to happen, and hopefully Grealish... It will benefit. Obviously, Grealish wants to play well for the good of Villa, but he could also do himself a solid in having a strong end to the season.
I mean, there's someone that loves Aston Villa straight off the bat and would never go out and give anything less than 110%.
Totally.
Jack Grealish. I personally, now, I'm really looking forward to the game. Because obviously we haven't lost at the weekend, and it sounds like the crowd was on side and it was positive. I just think Grealish will lift even the most grumpiest of Villa fans.
Do you think?
Yeah, including the man in front of me, maybe.
That's the guy I was thinking of.
Might even lift him. I mean, I could be walking into the ground and getting punched on on Saturday. Although I'm not sitting in my seat, so that won't happen. So that's good. Yeah, he could deck me next time he sees me if he listens to the podcast.
Yeah, could do.
But it's just even now, like we're talking about Jack Grealish being back, and we've got smiles on our faces.
Yeah,
and the pictures of him in training and stuff. Everything just suddenly feels happier just because one person's back. In some ways, I don't like the big deal being made out of it. In some ways, I've seen someone at work who supports Brentford sent me a picture message this morning. I've gone back to 1990. A message this morning of like a football banter page, and it was like, look at small time Aston Villa celebrating the return of an injured player, like they've signed Messi or whatever it was that was in there. I do kind of agree with that, but it's been so miserable the last few months that I'm just happy he's back and everyone do what they like.
I saw a video of they superimposed Dean Smith saying that Jack was going to be back, and then the whole pub just erupting in cheers. I found it funny.
His dad sent me that this morning at 7 o'clock in the morning,
really?
Or whenever it was. Yeah, and I'll be happy he's back as well.
But I do agree with you a little bit, not so much for those reasons, but more the fact that I don't want too much pressure on his return. I mean, Jack Grealish is a player that can deal with the pressure.
Also, he could pick up a knock in training in the week and then he doesn't play.
Can you imagine?
And then you all look very silly.
Well, and can you imagine the mood around Villa Park then when it's like Jack Grealish isn't on the bench?
Yeah, I wouldn't be very happy.
There'd be a vacuum.
Yeah, I don't know, because it's close to a sellout, I think, because they've opened the Upper Trinity.
Right.
Haven't they? So the tickets are obviously shifted. I think after they did that, I think the ticket website broke.
Wow.
Obviously, no one's been using it for a few months, and he broke down.
Yeah. So Dean Smith said whether he starts or not, we'll wait and see. He's worked really hard to get himself into contention, has trained well. So we'll see.
The fact he's even mentioned the possibility of him starting tells me he's starting.
Right.
Yeah. You'd just say he's got a chance of being on the bench, wouldn't he, if he was going to be on the bench?
Yeah.
Saying he's got the chance of both tells me he'll play.
Since Grealish has been missing, we've won 2 out of 14, which is desperately sad times.
What a 2. What a 2, Tom.
2 to remember. Tom Carroll should also be fit.
Can you even remember them? I'm going to challenge you right now. Can you remember the 2 wins? Like I say, the whole series just merged into one big bleh.
Right, hang on.
We haven't got all day.
No.
You should. I thought you'd at least recall one. It wasn't that long ago.
Hull.
You were at that game and we drew. You were there. Ipswich at home, Swansea away, Tom. Boxing Day, Swansea away. Connor, header.
I think that's what I was thinking of when I said Hull.
Yeah. I mean, you're having a nightmare.
I was thinking of the game after Leeds. Who was that?
That was Swansea.
Yeah, so I was thinking they were
1-0.
There you go.
Yeah, if you were thinking it, why did you just say that?
Because I don't know.
Okay, let's move on.
Very
Embarrass
tough.
yourself.
Tom Carroll should be fit as well.
Yeah, nice move away from that. He won't start. I wouldn't think. He looked rusty as when he came on at Reading, and that was a while ago now. So I wouldn't think he'd start, but he'll come on. He'll come on for Whelan after 70, I would think, or Jack, depending on how the game's going.
Yeah.
Nice to sign someone. Nice to see him play.
Yeah, he's been one that's drawn a lot of ire, hasn't it? Because he's just not been fit. If you sign him and he's not fit, then why did we sign him? And if he's been injured straight away, then that's not a good sign.
We signed Courtney Hawes. We couldn't blame him to begin with because he wasn't fit.
Yeah.
I'll shout out to him because I was at that Brentford away game and he was getting dogs from some sections of the crowd. But it sounds like he had another good game. Surely he's not going to be our permanent left back, but it's nice to see him playing there and doing well.
Yeah.
I don't want Neil Taylor to think about someone who's not a proper left back playing ahead of him.
Well, I mean, he played behind Alan Hutton for
that's true. He's probably used to it by now.
Quite a while.
Yeah.
So, speaking of Alan Hutton, what a perfect segue. Not good news for him.
No.
The 34-year-old has overstretched the medial collateral ligament, or MCL, if you want to give it a street name.
But not as bad as first feared.
No, so it's not as bad as first feared. They thought it might be ruptured, but there's potential that Hutton still could miss the rest of the season and likely end his career.
He'd be out for a few weeks, but he'd be back.
No, he said, I'm hoping we'll have him.
Quote down there.
I'm hoping we'll have him back before the end of the season, but that's hoping more than anything.
Yeah. But I wouldn't like to see him go out in that way, in tears, going off the pitch. He deserves a proper send-off, Alan Hutton, because whatever you think of him, he's been a great servant and he's bounced back a number of times from adversity. So I think he deserves an enormous amount of credit. I mean, I saw another YouTube channel going on about testimonials and stuff for him. Not for me. Testimonials when you've been somewhere for 10 years, he doesn't fill that criteria. I mean, Ian Taylor was at Villa the same amount of time as Alan Hutton has been. He didn't get a testimonial. Alan Wright. So I think you can't just be chucking testimonials at people for 8 years. And nowadays, the footballers don't need the money. That's when testimonials used to be done, isn't it? Now he goes to charity, I think, when they are done. But I don't know whether we'll see the day of someone getting to 10 years at Villa anymore, which is sad in itself, is it? So he's done very well. He's done. I mean, bear in mind, a few years ago, I hated watching him. I just couldn't get on board with him at all. But he's completely won me around with his attitude and his desire. And he's not the best footballer in the world, but he'll be remembered for that unbelievable goal against Birmingham City, and for that alone, he will go down in folklore, and he deserves all the plaudits he gets, and he's one that doesn't deserve abuse. Yeah,
more than that, he works hard. He gives his all, and he obviously notably gives his all. Whereas some players get lambasted for looking like they're not trying. Alan Hutton works his socks off, and I know that's the minimum you expect from a professional footballer, but he has really, like you say, kind of endeared himself to the fans and overcome this
In particular,
kind of...
one fan. Pat Toller.
Yeah.
He loves Alan Hutton.
Yeah.
She maybe loves Alan Hutton more than I love my wife, the way she talks about him.
More than you love your rabbits.
Oh, no.
No, I didn't think so.
No.
Yeah, so there you go. Alan Hunt, hopefully we'll see you back before the end of the season.
I like the way we've just decided now that he does,
He
does listen to it.
Yeah.
Get well soon, mate, Al.
Absolutely.
We'll send you our best.
All the best to you. Alan, a couple of questions on the games that came in on Twitter. Smithy says, obviously something hit home at half-time on Saturday because that second half performance was the best since that winning run. Grealish back is a massive boost, so I'm backing us to win on Saturday. I'd make Elphick captain as well. Inspirational words after, and he's bonding well with Mings.
I mean, he probably will be captain. I would think Chester's still some way off, so he's not coming back anytime soon. So hopefully the stuff that Smithy mentions, it all amalgamates now, and we can try and get some feel good and just end the season well. It'd be typical Villa to finish 7th, like 1 point off the playoffs.
But like you say,
wouldn't it?
There's positives to take out of that. If we finish 7th, then I'll consider the last third of the season a good end of the season.
You've also got to look back to the summer, and I don't like doing this, but you've got to look back at where we were, and I was thinking, geez, we're going to lose everyone. This is going to be an absolute nightmare. And in a lot of ways, the season has been a nightmare because this run just has been horrible. But it could be worse. It could be worse.
Totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely could be. Craig Newton, fans were superb at Stoke. I think we responded to the Villa Park Boo Boys there. They were clapped off at half-time. We sang them off. We sang them at half-time and we sang them out again. Boy, did they respond. Proves the point. Support them and they will perform much better performance.
Bang on. No one can play in that atmosphere that's so rank and horrible at Villa Park when it gets the way it does sometimes. It's not a good place to play. They do give it you back. If you back them, they will give it back. Totally. And some will say that's not the way it should work, but it should work both ways, ideally. But the Villa fans get behind it. I think that proves that they'll go out and they'll give the run. It galvanises them and it gives them something. We're such a powerful fan base. I think we realise the power we have sometimes.
Absolutely. AV Brummy, I was hoping Hurahan would get the backing, and he did. Great touch at the end of the game with Villa being clapped off and Dino ringing out. Hopefully Saturday at home is a big change.
Yeah, Derby are coming off the back of a few dodgy results as well, aren't they? Mm-hmm. So Lampard, he's not under pressure, Lampard, but the notorious thing with Derby is if you finish below 6th, your job's in danger. I don't actually think that'll happen to Frank Lampard, but it's come at a time where he's been linked with the Chelsea job as well, and there's kind of a bit of a focus on him. We know we can beat them because we went to them and probably put in the performance of the season at their place as well. So maybe we talk about it never being a good time for us to, we play teams at the wrong times and stuff. Maybe it's a decent time for us to catch Derby. I mean, how many points are we off them? Don't know. I mean, I'm getting carried away here.
45. We're on 45 and they're on 51.
So
6.
So they're 7th at the moment. You can close the gap to 3 points. Same amount of games played, is that?
We've played one more.
Oh, okay. But then you still got to go and win your game in hand, haven't you?
Absolutely. And like you say, they're not in the greatest of form. They've slipped out of the playoff positions, and they'll be looking at Villa away and thinking we need to get back right here. Yeah. But hopefully with that Stoke performance we'll go and take it and 3 points.
Ashley Cole in their ranks, as well at left back. He's got into the team recently, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Do you want to have a little look at the table real quick? Norwich City still at the top, flying high. Those Canaries on 66.
Did me and my accumulator Norwich did
they?
At the weekend? Yeah, I thought they'd draw.
I mean, more for you to not pick top of the Championship to win.
£3,600 from a fiver.
What, one team?
Nah, I got 2. Norwich were 1 and Wolves. I had Wolves down to win. Right. And they lost. They drew with Bournemouth.
I mean, you're not far away there, are you?
I should have cashed out. I had a good cash out and I didn't take it.
What was the cash out?
It's only like £100 odd, but from a fiver I should have taken it. But because the games were in flux, I just thought this can all change very fast, and I didn't do it. And then when it got the cash out, got to like £30. I just thought I'm not going to insult myself here. Just see how the games play out.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But gamble responsibly if you do gamble.
Absolutely. When the fun stops, stop.
Yeah.
Sheffield United are in second, level with points with Leeds United on 64. West Brom, Middlesbrough and Bristol City make up the top 6.
Did you see the Jay Rodriguez handball? That annoyed me.
No.
He handballed it again in West Brom's game, Sheffield United at home. Of course he gets paid. I mean, it was blatant. But of course he gets penalised for that, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, when he handballs against Villa twice,
Oh, what? So you are just saying?
Carry on, lad.
Just saying the referee did his job. Is that what you're saying?
Could have been the linesman, we're not sure, are we?
Right, okay. The officials. We've got a Premier League referee, we've been informed. Lee Mason for this weekend's game.
You say Premier League referee, but it's Lee Mason.
Here we go. All right. Oh, the Premier League referees, they're so good. I wish we could have them. Premier League referee comes in. Lee Mason. Oh, anyone but Lee Mason. Yeah, you are insufferable.
Someone said, that's harsh. Someone said in the comments, though, he's only refereeing a championship games. He's done something wrong. So he must have done something wrong. What did he do wrong, refereeing expert?
I don't know.
Come on, this is where you add value to the podcast. You should know what referees are.
I defend the referees. I'm not going to pull them up for their mistakes as well.
Watch him have a nightmare, Lee Mason. We'll be here next week and we'll be talking about something Lee Mason did. I can almost guarantee.
Well, of course we will, because you'll manufacture some sort of storyline.
I'm not that kind of guy. When I'm wrong, I can admit it. Like with Alan Hutton, I can admit when I'm wrong. Tom,
you've never admitted about the referees. You've never been wrong. I haven't
seen a good one.
Never seen a good one. Let's talk a little bit about.
Someone asked who's the best ref in the world. That was one of the questions. Yeah. That made the notes now.
No.
Did anything make the notes this week?
No, do you know what? I must apologise for the quality of the notes this week. And do you know what the worst thing is? You actually said the acclaimed notes in your tweet.
I put you under pressure. And not on purpose.
I just haven't had time. I've been so busy at
work.
work.
Gave you a little emoji, a notes emoji next to it as well. I really jazzed up the podcast tweet this week.
I couldn't put I usually have the table in the notes. I usually print them off.
We're going off your phone. This is just a nightmare, Tom.
Yeah.
Your shirt's ripped. This is just an absolute nightmare. If you did miss our Instagram Live, you actually missed. Someone said, Tom, come on, Tom, put a bit of gel in your hair. And Tom actually did his hair live on the Instagram, so go back and check that out.
Yeah.
Real prime viewing. You can see why a massive 52 people tuned in to watch us on Instagram Live.
It was Brill Cream.
Oh, no.
You like that one, didn't you?
No.
No, you didn't.
I mean, I was surprised it wasn't Brill Cream, to be honest.
Can you imagine? I used to have Brill Cream when David Beckham was sponsoring Brill Cream. That must have been the height of his popularity, apart from in the 60s.
I bet he did well off that. I bet that started his empire.
I used to get everything David Beckham.
Did you? Not the girls.
Yeah, not the girls. Brill Cream, wanted the Preds.
I really wondered where you were going to go with it, because after Brill Cream, I was thinking, I'm interested to see where he's going to go.
Wanted that Vodafone flip phone, you know?
Yeah, did he have that?
Yeah, when he's in the supermarket.
You want to go out with a Spice Girl?
Emma Bunton was my
I liked
first
Emma
crush.
Yeah.
Oh.
Who did this? I don't know why I did that. Oh, yeah, I liked Emma Bunton as well. She was my favourite. I had a poster of Baby Spice on my wall.
Did you?
Yeah.
Where I had Dwight York, you had Emma Bunton.
Baby Spice, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Threw all my support behind Emma Bunton.
I don't know if you saw, last week we talked about, I don't know why I brought this up off Emma Bunton.
Let us know who your favourite Spice Girl is in the comments, please.
They've got to be the popular two, haven't they?
Who's the other one?
Emma Bunton and Posh Spice.
No, Ginger Spice.
Really?
Yeah, Ginger.
I felt like Jerry Halliwell got better with age.
I watched her she was on a League of Her Own recently, wasn't she? And she was looking well.
Great.
Looking well. I'm going to back that she wins the comments.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to say she'll win.
Emma Bunton moved into a radio career, didn't she?
I think she's still doing radio, yeah.
What I was going to say was, after last week we talked about J.R.L. Morgan said, what's your best memorabilia?
Oh, yeah.
Got? And I said that I had the Aston Villa duvet and pillowcase. My mum sent me a picture of the pillowcase.
Did you send that picture to me, or did you put it on Twitter?
Put it on Twitter,
I've seen it, yeah.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, I had one, but it was completely different to that.
Was it?
Around the same time, same badge, but it was a claret one.
Oh, right.
Yeah, interesting that they'd developed so many different duvets at that time.
my mum, yeah, sure. My mum also said she remembered the little thing that you stuck on the window. You were supposed to stick on the car, but she didn't have a car. And she said it was always falling off.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you had a troubled childhood with not being allowed to wear white, things falling off the windows. I will just say, I've added a new piece of memorabilia to my collection. Finally got my hands on a big Marlon Harewood shirt.
You had to work hard for it.
I did. At 1 to 11 shirts. Sean sorted it out for me. Acquired all the separate elements that were needed for the shirt. So I'll do a little bubble there. So the shirt of the time, and then the font and the numbers. He had to source it all separately. He did very well for me. So if you want a specific shirt, make sure you go into 1 to 11 kits on Instagram. I follow him on Instagram, so you'll see him amongst the people I follow.
There you go.
Prepare some memorabilia. Still, we want to try and get Marlon on, don't we? We want to try and interview Marlon, but at the moment I'm bottling it.
Yeah, we've made a couple of inroads which led to dead ends. There's one more we can try, which we'll give a whirl to.
Which is the most obvious way to do it.
Yeah.
And I've been sitting on it for months, not just bottling it.
But again, it comes from the conversation we had last week about what else we want to do with the podcast. Not with the podcast, with the channel. And there's a couple of bits and pieces. We tried the Instagram Live earlier as well. So there are a few things, and we're going to give them a whirl.
Yeah, basically someone's given me Marlon Harewood's number. I've just got it in my phone book. Not doing anything with it. While we talk about things I haven't done, it's probably a good time to mention the competitions. We've gone a bit awry with the competitions, haven't we?
And when you say we...
I mean, it's a group thing. Me, you, Dolan, Rollo.
Dolan's been dragged in.
James Rushton in there as well. It's a thing we can all work.
Villa on tour.
We can all do better with the competition. So, Vexes Valentes, my wife took the book out of my bag, and I actually went to do it because I was posting something else, and it wasn't in my bag. So I've not posted your book, but Tom's going to keep on at me this week, the rest of the week, and he's going to make sure I do it by the end of the week.
All right, you have to do a forfeit, I reckon.
All right, yeah, that's a good way to get me.
So
what's the forfeit?
What is the forfeit? I'm thinking something to do with your hair.
Well, I've already shaved it all off earlier on in the season, and I don't look back on those videos with any fondness.
No. What could you do? Could you buy Vexes Valentes like a pint or something?
I mean, yeah, I could. That doesn't feel like a real bad forfeit for me, does it? Or you got to buy someone a pint.
Well, it's not. Yeah, but I'm trying to give Vexes Valentes more for his competition win because you really let him down.
Yeah, I'll shave my head again because I look back on that and think, what was I thinking? So
Right.
if I don't get that book, so give me by the next podcast, if that book's not been sent out, I have to shave my head again.
And you have to put a £5 in the book that Vexes Valentes can buy a pint with.
I mean, you're obsessed with me giving some money away in some way. Okay, I
feel like that would really hurt you.
I'll do that. And then the other thing is that, I mean, you talk about the Guess Who competition. We forgot to give it away. So we're gonna make a decision on that, and that's not just me, that's Rollo as well, because he physically has that.
Yeah, I will say the term "we" that's being bandied about. I wasn't even part of that. Wasn't even consulted on that it was happening. So
No.
that's how much I can take responsibility for.
And then
that.
we also had the Loot Roper
£100 gift card.
£100 gift card, and Trevor Spence. I've not heard anything from you, mate.
Trevor Spence. There's £100 here to be spent
At the Loot Roper store. Oh no! Come on, stop trying to force the puns in.
Make sure you get in touch seriously because that's your £100. You're welcome to it. We did have a number 2 pick.
I mean, we didn't the only game we won. We had a 2 and a 3.
Right.
So, Alex Withy, I'm presuming. Oh, that's Trevor Spence again. Alex Withy and Daniel Wayne. We're going to give Trevor Spence one more week. Trevor, I'm starting to feel like you only listened to the podcast once to enter a competition. You got to see it through.
Yeah.
Get in touch with us somewhere.
Yep. Plenty of ways.
Yeah. And the good news is I don't have to post anything there, so the chances are not much can go wrong with you getting your prize.
Absolutely.
Unless I get ignored by the Loot Roper too.
Absolutely. There's one subject here we haven't talked about a little bit, and you mentioned it just earlier. Was Frank Lampard
Yeah.
to Chelsea, and then naturally the rumours come up about John Terry being at Villa next season. What are his plans? We had a question in. Do you expect John Terry to be in at Villa Park next year?
I would say if Chelsea changed their manager, they like to get an ex-player in on the coaching staff. I would think it would be a pretty logical move for him. I think obviously he still lives in the area. He's still spotted in Chelsea at the training ground a lot.
He referenced them. Did you see him on? Was it?
Gerard Brand did something with him, didn't he? An interview. I've not read it yet.
Yeah,
but he did an interview with him.
John Terry was on Sky Sports, and he was talking about Chelsea. He kept calling
I've
them
got no
away.
problem with that.
Still,
Nah, they're his team. That's the team he loves. I'm sure he's got a massive fondness for Aston Villa, but he doesn't love Aston Villa in the same way he does Chelsea, and that's fine. Because they're his team. He was there for the whole of his career, wasn't he?
yeah, but that'd be fine if he wasn't attached to a club.
No, I get that.
But he's working for a club. I
know what you're getting at, but
I'm not trying to create
I just think we've
something
got
here.
bigger things to worry about than John Terry calling Chelsea weak.
Sure, but I don't. It's not the height of professionalism for me.
I just think it's nothing. It doesn't offend me in the slightest,
Well,
and I'm sure it probably doesn't offend many
We
people.
talked about it last season when he was playing, and
He's a Chelsea boy.
it doesn't sit right with me.
I would say if he, and I'm speaking completely out of my own mind here. I don't know anything, but I would imagine if he got the chance to go back to Chelsea, I think he'd probably go. just makes sense for him. If we're in my job, if Villa offer me a job, I love Villa. I'm going to take it. It's the same for him. Okay, it's the same industry, but he's offered a job at Chelsea. He'll miss out, and people will go, "Oh, boo-hoo!" But he misses out on time with his family and things like that, being at Villa because of where he's located, where he still lives. So I think he'd feel bad about it because I think he does obviously hold an affinity for Villa. But if he got the chance to go back to Chelsea, I think he would take it, and I'd just say, "Okay, I wish you all the best."
Well, it's not even just the fact that he's going back to Chelsea. He's going then to a.
It sounds like we've decided what's happening.
Well, yeah, but he would be going back. He would be going to a Champions League title contender,
as well.
and it's another step up in his management progression. Do you think?
Sounds like they need someone like John Terry in the dressing room, to be honest.
Do you think that he deserves that chance right now from looking on the outside, looking in? From what he's done at Villa so far.
I mean, we don't know what he's done at Villa because we don't know the impact he's had. You can say, okay, we've shipped a lot of goals, but we were shipping goals before he came in. Really, I still think without a pre-season, none of the coaching staff can really be judged, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I know what you're getting at. I know what you're saying because we've hardly been trailblazers this season, have we? But I'm trying to think of some of the coaches that they've had. I mean, I don't know. Zola's there at the moment, isn't he? I suppose he's been a manager elsewhere and picked up some experience. Di Matteo's been the assistant under Villas-Boas as well. So they like to have an ex-player involved. Eddie Newton sometimes steps up from the youth into the first team whenever there's a caretaker manager. He's Chelsea's biggest legend, isn't he?
Certainly of recent times.
The Premier League era, he's Chelsea's biggest legend along with Lampard. So it doesn't really matter what he's done as a coach. I think if they could get him back, it's the dream for them, isn't it?
Could be.
And probably his dream.
That was Ian F on that question. Do you think John Terry will be at the Villa next year? Let's move into a couple of other questions. Joe Ireland, what are your thoughts on the whole Kepa situation from the weekend, and how would you react if a Villa player refused to be subbed off? This was farcical, I thought.
Yeah, I think it was farcical, but I do also think Kepa was just trying to say, you don't need to take me off. I'm fine, my cramp's gone or whatever, but if you're being told you're coming up... Did the number ever come up on the board? I can't remember. Did it come up?
I don't know, but that's semantics, isn't it? I think, I was having this conversation...
Sarri's got problems, for sure.
I was having a conversation with a Chelsea fan at work, and he was saying, it all seemed to be a misunderstanding. To me, it's the last minute of extra time. Willy Caballero's a great penalty saver, and they would have talked about this before. It's not like Kepa wouldn't have known that he was going to come off.
Do you think he was going to come off anyway, regardless of the cramp?
I do, yeah.
Because what you think?
They were saving. It seemed to me like they were saving a sub, and it just seems all to fit that Caballero is ready to go on, and he's a great shot stopper.
It's not even just that, though, is it? The logical thing for Caballero.
He's been there.
He knows those players. He'll have trained penalties with them.
The fact that Kepa's got injuries anyway. To me, whether you want to come off or not, it was just a total rush of blood to the head for Kepa, and now he's made a real issue for Sarri.
He's not playing tonight when we're recording.
Has it been confirmed?
Yeah, he said it on the ticker as we were walking in. He's not playing.
Well, exactly. So now, if they lose to Spurs, which they could conceivably do with or without Kepa in goal, Sarri's in even more shtuck because he should have played Kepa. And if they, the only way they win, Sarri wins now, is if Caballero has a worldie, and then he has to stay with Caballero.
Shall I check what the score is?
Yeah, please.
Let's have a look.
So,
I tried to think of a similar situation if it's happened with Villa, and obviously it's a pretty unique situation. Nothing really happened, have there?
Yeah.
It's 0-0 half time, so Caballero's done half his job.
Yeah.
Kept that clean sheet. Interestingly, my fantasy football team, Sane as captain. Of course, Man City 0-0 with West Ham.
Sure.
Yeah. The only thing I could think of from recent times was when I remember, we got a free kick. I think it was the last game of the first season, and Bakuna wanted to take it, but Conor Horan was like, "No, I'm taking it." And Bakuna had a strop and just stood there in the middle of the pitch, and then suddenly got pelted, pelters from the whole end. So I just can't think of anything such a unique situation.
Yeah, there's sometimes times where penalty takers squabble over the ball, isn't there?
But I suppose we had Whelan and Balassi. We kind of had that, and then Whelan missed.
I think
Those things never end well, do they? When there's some kind of squabble,
do they?
it just never goes well.
who was it in the playoff final when Troy Deeney then scored at the other end?
Brentford. I forgot his name. He was on loan from Fulham, I think, and he wasn't the designated penalty taker, was he? And he took it and he hit the bar, and they ran down the other end and scored.
That is absolutely unbelievable.
Was that then? Is that what happened? Or have I
Yeah, it
completely
was.
made that up?
Yeah,
Was it Watford?
yeah, it was Watford.
Yeah. Zola slipped, didn't he, when they... Well, let's go. A few mentions for Jan Franco.
Yeah.
Former Birmingham City
One
manager.
of my favourite players when I was
Yeah.
growing up as a kid. Yeah, I used to love Zola. Anyway, we digress as we often do. Simon O'Regan, we went 4-4-2 on Saturday. By all accounts, it worked, especially second half.
It's a well-known term.
But Jack doesn't suit that formation.
No.
Do we go back to 4-3-3 or could we adapt to a 4-4-1-1? Don't ever click the button.
I've got to, because
Goodness
you weren't
me.
doing it.
No, you don't click it, you just move it.
I think we kind of covered that earlier, didn't we?
Yeah.
We were talking about that. Thanks for your question, Simon O'Regan.
Yeah.
Nailing the name now.
Simon O'Regan.
No, Reagan.
No, it's not.
It's Regan, isn't it? I even celebrated it as well. Cocker.
The apprentice becomes the master.
I mean, you've made enough mistakes this evening.
Jack Mason, thoughts on Bruce taking Smith above Villa? Now, if there is
That's right, that was wrong as well.
if
Thoughts of Bruce taking Smith above Villa? Doesn't make sense.
that I've lifted that from.
I mean,
from
you've
the
typed
tweet.
it wrong and then you've said it wrong.
No, I haven't typed it. I've taken it straight away. Also, Raj Rather. If I've definitely got that name wrong. If Sheffield Wednesday finish above us, do we think that we were right to give Bruce the elbow? You talked about non-issues earlier. This, to me, is a non-issue.
I'd just describe it again as what I said earlier. It's vintage Villa, isn't
Yeah.
it? Bruce has just gone in and hit the ground running at Sheffield Wednesday. They're unbeaten since he's been in there. Just one of those things, but Steve Bruce is pretty irrelevant now. Although I suppose I'll still bring him up and say he left us in a bad state.
That is,
defensively.
but for the here and now, I would say Steve Bruce. That doesn't matter.
I mean, it's written in the stars. They'll beat us at Hillsborough, isn't it? Again, peak Villa.
Yeah. JPW Lolly Liquor. Interesting.
That is not his name.
Interesting handle.
Yeah.
The last two Villa View videos, Dan Bardell said that our season was finished, which I agree with. But do you now think, with the return of Super Jack Grealish, that it will give us the push to make the playoffs? And will Tom J says ever change his hairstyle? Deal with the first one first.
We're not going to get the playoffs.
No.
But he could galvanise our season and give us a nice end, which I'd take at this moment in time.
Will I ever change my hairstyle? No. I hate wasting my time in the barbers. I said this earlier. Barbers and clothes shopping are the two things that I hate the most.
The two things I love the most.
I
I love getting my hair cut.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah, I love it.
You get an itchy neck, you have to wait around, what annoys me is then you have to have small talk, or if they don't have small talk, it's
I like
just
my barber.
awkward
Good friends with
silence.
my barber. He obviously works at Sky. Luke the barber.
I didn't mind getting my hair cut when I used to work here because you could take some of your time out of your day.
Oh yeah, I'm doing it in work time as
Yeah,
well. So for me, I'm having my hair done. Sound like my mum. Having my hair done, and it's part of my day.
I could just see you with like rollers and the newspaper, the Woman's Weekly.
I don't like sitting there for an hour having my hair done, but I always like the end result. I just like having my hair cut because my hair grows so fast.
Waste of time
And fashion, as you can tell. I love buying clothes as well.
So boring. What a
Some
waste
shoes
of time.
earlier, they're getting delivered to work tomorrow. It's exciting times, Tom. Exciting times.
Hoppo Ben, one for Dan Bardell. All right, it's a squad numbers game from Hoppo Ben. Have you seen this? Did you see it on Twitter?
You know, I did see it, and I don't know the answer.
You don't know the answer? Well, I'm.
Do you know the answer?
To me, it's contentious.
Is
Because
it?
I've looked it up.
31, isn't it?
So for those that
Colin
haven't
Calderwood
seen
again,
it,
is it? And you've got it wrong.
I haven't got it wrong. Who was 31 in the 1997-98 season?
I don't know that. 31.
I think.
Why is it contentious? Can you tell me why it's contentious? Or
Well,
not?
because he never played for Villa and he left at the start of this season.
He never played for Villa, and he left at the start of the season.
So he was on the books from being a youth product, but was on loan a lot. I can tell you who joined.
I don't think that's going to help, but go by all means.
Joined Kidderminster Harriers. Played the majority of his career there.
A kiddie.
On the position.
I mean, you give me a lot of clues here, and nothing is ringing any bells.
I think it's very
Go
hard.
give me the position.
Goalkeeper.
31. Goalkeeper. That's probably helped. No, it's not him. 97, 98.
Yeah.
Did he didn't leave that season?
I think he left at the start of that season.
Oh, he left at the start.
I've just done a small bit of research, so.
Come back to me. Come back to me.
All right.
I'll get that.
Oh, we're going to lose Dan now for the rest of the podcast.
I think I've got it. I think I'm not 100% on it at all, but I'm just going to throw a guess out there.
You want to do it now?
It's Stuart Brock.
It is Stuart Brock. I mean, there was a lot of clues there,
but come on.
But you've surpassed my expectations once again. Hoppo Ben, I hope that is okay for you that I gave a few clues out there.
The fact is, I could have cheated in that as well because I read that last night and then just thought, nah, I just didn't do anything with it because I thought if I answer it, he's going to just think if I get it right that I've cheated.
Yeah.
So I didn't bother.
Oh no! This could be a.
And then I thought Tom won't ask me that.
Could have acted.
And he has. No, you can't act what I've just done. No, he's not acting.
I would say Hoppo Ben. That's very, very hard, seeing as he did leave and never played for Villa. Harder than one that.
God knows why I've remembered Stuart Brock.
To be fair, you've got ones before where I've got the name and number wrong.
That's what I was expecting, something like that from old Hoppo, because he's not delivered on the chant front.
No.
Has he?
He's supportive of your new chant.
Yeah, I've come up with a new chant, by the way. If you watch the Instagram live, that I'm going to keep flogging on this podcast.
You're not going to.
Lovre Kalinic needs a chant, doesn't he? He's not got one. We don't sing Croatia's number one aim or anything like that. So, this is so bad. But you said it was okay.
Yeah.
The Beatles. All you need is love. All you need is love. Da, 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 da. Oh, you can even throw the trumpet in. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Lovre Kalinic.
It's the look you give me that makes me so
Come on,
worried.
That's decent now, isn't it?
Somebody's going to screenshot that.
That'll
look.
be hitting the whole tent on Saturday, I am sure.
All right.
Unless Jed Steers in goal, it won't hit it then.
King81, how concerned are you going into the unknown of the summer and next season? We'll lose all our lone players, generally our best players currently, most of our first team squad, and plus we'll have limited funds to replace 12 to 14 players, he says here, King81. Can we really rebuild from the ashes?
Cheers, King81, because I was feeling quite good. We had quite a positive podcast, and right near the death, you've really put a downer on it, if I'm being honest.
It could go either way, couldn't it, next year? It really could be. We could be in for a very hard time if things don't break right.
Yeah, I mean, I've made this mistake a few times in my life with Villa. I've sometimes gone into seasons and thought, it won't be worse than last year. And quite frequently, it has been worse than last year. So I'm not going to say that. I don't know. I just think it's interesting because I think if ever there was a man to deal with all these issues and rebuild from the ground up with a young team, I think we've probably got the right man in charge.
Yeah.
So from that point of view, I'd say it's quite exciting. If we were doing these things with Bruce in charge, I'd be thinking,
because he has no youth record. That's not his game, is it?
He's bought through Alex Bruce.
Just true. Everywhere he's been.
He's bought through his son. That's for sure.
Andy Chance, do we have to get used to being a selling club in the next few seasons, developing young talent and selling them on for a profit to protect our long-term future? We need to see those young players come through, I think.
A lot of it will hinge on what happens with Jack in the summer, and none of us know what will happen. I doubt Jack knows what will happen in the summer. I said a few weeks ago it'd be stupid to go because I just think there's a whole world out there for him, for want of a better phrase. But now I'm starting to lean towards him staying for another year for some reason. I've got nothing behind that again. I don't know. I just am.
Yeah.
I think it's 50-50.
Yeah, I mean, I can see the positives of him staying.
It's a big ask, isn't it? But
there are positives there. I don't see financially how he can, but again, like you say, we don't. He really
signed
know.
the contract, and if our owners are saying money's not of interest like they did in the summer, then really he can't go, can he? He's got a big contract.
Yeah, well, we should wait and see what the offers are like come.
And I don't think there's a clause in his contract fee wise. I could be wrong, but I believe there isn't.
I'm going to finish with this one. Luke Hatfield, which Villa player from the past in their prime would you most like to see at the club today? Personally, I feel like a prime Barry would do wonders for our midfield. Minus points to Dan Bardell if he answers Ian Taylor.
I mean, we could do with Tails, couldn't we? We could always do with Tails in any situation. Barry's probably a decent shout at the base of the midfield. I would suggest. I mean, you think where are we struggling at the moment? We're leaky. Probably a McGrath or a Larson. I
had Melberg in my head.
Yeah, Melberg's a good one, isn't it? Because he gets it. He just got it, didn't he, Melberg? I'd probably go with. Obviously, McGrath. I saw him when I was younger. Everyone says he's the best defender we've ever seen. So you would have to say McGrath.
Yeah,
I think. So I don't lose points because I didn't say Ian Taylor.
Well done.
Wouldn't mind Bozzy in goal either. Do you say it was like? I can't do the maths now. Is it 25 years? What's the math situation since we beat Tranmere and he saved those 3 penalties?
Can't be 25
94. Really showing myself up here.
Yeah,
25
it
years.
is, yeah. Well done.
Phew. Yeah, so it's been 25 years since we beat Tranmere on penalties and Mark Bosnich saved 3. Game that my dad decided that we didn't need to go to because it was over.
You'll never let that
He's
one.
learnt from mistakes over the years, and then he didn't let me go to the cup final, by the way, because it was my mum's birthday, but we've spoke about that before. But yeah, another element to that story is he didn't want to go to the semi-final because he thought it was over.
The beautiful thing is that you didn't go to the final because it was your mum's birthday, but he went to the final.
Yeah, of course he did.
I love that.
Okay, I tell you what, though, if you know my mum, he'd have been in the doghouse for years. I'm surprised that doesn't get bought more around the dinner table.
Totally worth
Because
it.
he lost his keys once in however many years they've been together. Must be between 30 and 40 years they've been together. And every time he goes out, she says, don't lose your keys. But she's not joking. She's been genuinely serious just because of that one time he forgot his keys. If you do something once, in my mum's eyes, that's it. You do that every time.
I said to you after the podcast finished last week, I would move to Birmingham to be closer to your dad.
Would you?
I love your dad. I feel like if you ever move to Birmingham, then you should do a father and son type show.
I mean, I see him a lot because we're at the Villa. Anyway, he's got a general reluctance to come on the Villa View, but except for when I'm not involved.
Right.
When you did that podcast, he couldn't wait to phone in.
That was
He
excellent.
couldn't wait to be on there, could he?
Shout out to the fans consultation group.
Yes, well remembered, Tom. Did that make the notes? 'Cause I did specifically ask that.
Top of the notes.
Yeah, there's another fans consultation group coming up. I can't be asked to explain it because I feel like everyone knows what it is by now. But if you've got any general queries about Villa, not about whether you like players or managers or things like that, but just about Villa in general, like the infrastructure, things
The
like
catering.
that, the catering, just things like that. Anything that's
Reward points.
getting on your nerves or you want us to ask about.
Smoking areas, that's been a big one.
Then come to us and we'll ask.
Yeah, maybe worth Rolo doing a tweet and then people could just comment
Probably-
underneath.
It's probably easier, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rollo, do a tweet.
Good man, Rolo. And finally, Dan Bardell, YouTube star,
Oh yeah.
is going to do a talk at a school. No, really.
Heaven help these children.
That is happening. How did this come about?
Got a friend that's a teacher, and they, for some reason, need to do a talk on the internet and being on YouTube and social media and stuff. So I'm going in to have a chat. I've seen some of the questions; they're quite ruthless.
Are they?
Yeah, there's a few ruthless questions in there. Not ruthless, but like, who would you support if you didn't support Villa? Things like that. Obviously, I wouldn't support anyone.
Sounds ruthless.
No, there's some ruthless stuff in there. I just can't remember it off the top of my head. But yeah, I'm going into a school in Warsaw on Friday to do a talk about being on YouTube.
Stay safe online.
One of the questions was, how long does it take you to edit your videos? Not
Zero seconds.
time at
Yeah.
all.
As you can see from this video.
It only takes me longer to send out prizes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. We done. It's
Yeah.
not 9:10.
Oh, I'm in so much trouble.
You are in trouble.
Okay.
You better make the outro quick then.
Yeah, thank you very much for watching, subscribing, liking, rating on iTunes, doing all those kind of things. Make sure you get in touch if you've won one of those prizes. Vexes Valentes is coming to you very soon, or that hair is going, and a £5 to you as well.
I'm not risking that again.
Yeah, make sure you subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. There'll be a preview for the Derby game. There'll be fan cams as usual after Derby. So if you want to get involved with those, you know where it is by now.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, match preview at some point. Did you say that? I wasn't listening to you.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, okay,
Hopefully,
cool.
we'll be talking about a win next week. It won't be me, I don't think. I think it's going to be Dolan.
Oh, okay. You didn't tell me that.
yeah.
I didn't tell Donna.
So I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And you'll be back next week.
Yeah, up the Villa.
Up the Villa.
And up the Bucks.
Sure.
If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another? Click the video choices on screen now to go and watch them in full. Be sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking our logo there on the left. Easy peasy.